Karen Paul, and yes, I am. Okay, got it. It's in progress. Yes, it is. All right. I am a BDM for Pleasant Holidays, and I'm located in the Mid-Atlantic region, which means I cover Eastern Pennsylvania. So that's basically the eastern side of that state out to Penn State College. Then I cover all the way down to Southwest Virginia, Roanoke, and as far east as Virginia Beach. So everything in between Delaware, Maryland, DC, and all of Virginia. So I have a pretty big territory, but I have a very exciting territory. I have three key major cities: Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, DC. So I'm very lucky to be in this territory. So I'm going to give, it's kind of a quick, it's going to be a quick overview considering how much we have to offer you. So yes, if you have notebooks, but I think, do you guys record your presentations? Yeah, okay. So maybe you'll be able to catch it again, but I can always come back and do more follow-up, or I can reach out, or you can reach out to me if you have other specific questions. But let's get started so you have a general idea who we are. So Pleasant Holidays is the name most people are familiar with. For all of you that I see, there's some brand new agents out here. Pleasant Holidays is a tour operator, otherwise known as a wholesaler. So we're behind the scenes of travel agents. I always consider us like the big box store. Whatever you need to put in a booking, you pull it off the shelves of Pleasant Holidays and you build that package for your clients. So Pleasant Holidays is a tour operator. We have destinations all around the world, which you will see. Large res center, and can just book almost about anything you need for your clients. Then we move on to Journeys, another one of our brand platforms. Journeys is what we call that brand, our curators for fine travel. There is not a res center. What we have actually is about 15 destination specialists. They are the creme de la creme of a res agent. They've been in the business a long time, very knowledgeable, have traveled the world. So that's the team you want to use if you have clients that, well, they're considered, a best demographic is highly educated, well-traveled, higher income bracket, but they have very specific needs and expectations for any travel that they want to do. Otherwise, you can kind of say they're kind of a pain sometimes, but they're the ones that put those really beautiful big bookings together. So our journey specialist team, that's one you'd want to use because they will make a very customized, personalized package, making sure we are including everything your client's heart desires. Okay, another one of our platforms under the Pleasant Holidays umbrella is Air by Pleasant. I'll go into that more detail shortly. We're a leading air consolidator, international air. And then Pleasant Activities, that's our concierge platform for activities, tours, and excursions. And through the presentation, you'll learn how to differentiate them based on what you need. So I can't move on without sharing this because I saw some of you have been in the business a long time. Somebody was since 2018. So for those of you who lived through the pandemic, COVID, etc., I think we all learned a very hard lesson. For us, we learned that no matter what was happening with the company and with having to travel, we had to keep our team on staff, our customer service, customer relations, our BDM team, anyone possible. We had to stay on staff because a lot of our competitors, suppliers were not reachable. Staff was let go. There were just things hanging in the air. So for that aspect, because we kept our whole team, and we were even answering calls from people that didn't book through us because they didn't even have a starting point of how to manage the bookings that were being canceled. So because of that, in 2022 and 2021, through Travel Age West, the Wave Awards, we were honored with the award for being the tour operator providing the best customer support for FIT travel. And we're up for that award again this year. So I hope you voted for us if you have been using us in the recent Wave Awards. They just ended last Friday, but we are there for you. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So Pleasant Holidays began as a little family-owned travel agency on the Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore town name was Point Pleasant. So anybody from this area, you'll know where Point Pleasant, New Jersey is. And the agency was called Pleasant Holidays. The husband had been an Air Force pilot based in Hawaii before it was even a state. When he retired, he started flying cargo planes to Hawaii, and just talking to his wife, he said, we got to start getting more people to the Hawaiian Islands. You know, they have to see these islands. So they created this agency that they only focused on Hawaii in the South Pacific, and it just grew and grew to the point they had to relocate to California. And then, as you can see by the timeline, we just kept adding more and more and more destinations. So I have to close this little box over here. to just even just in 2022, in third quarter 2022, we added Indonesia and Malaysia. So we're finally offering Bali. That was one of the most requested destinations we did not have. So we now have that. And then Q4 of 2022, we added South Africa. And just got word this past Monday on our team call that before this year's over, we're going to be adding Egypt and Jordan because they are coming up very strong on demand for places people want to travel to. So this slide is showing you what our digital brochures, we're not printing brochures anymore, but this is what they look like. Pleasant Holidays always has a lot of blue behind it, but you'll see destinations here that we cover. And I'll show you as we go through the presentation where you can find our digital brochures that you can either download, you can send print screens to clients, depending on what they're looking at, but they're very accessible for you to use. All right, so I already had mentioned Journeys being basically our luxury, our curators, a fine travel brand. This brand, they go to all those same destinations that I just showed you with Pleasant Holidays, but because of who they are and who they book and where their client base tends to want to go, they offer a few extra destinations, being Australia, New Zealand, and the Arab Emirates. So only because they take a lot of planning and coordinating to do some of those destinations are so large and they're so very specific that we keep them only under our Journeys curators team of destination specialists. So just a little bit about what we just announced in South Africa. We launched in Q4. We offer 2 different destinations in South Africa, Cape Town and Johannesburg. You'll see the resorts that we offer in those 2 destinations. And then with either one of those, you have the option to add on mini packages of safaris with Thompson's Africa, which means it's like there's a side trip out of your South Africa journey. So in Europe, we've had Europe as a destination for many years, but we've been expanding not only new countries within Europe, but also within a certain country, let's say within the UK or within France. We've also extended out to what you call secondary destinations within that country, because everyone wants to go to Rome or Venice or Paris, etc. But they also want to get out into the countryside. They want to see some of the other areas of those countries. So we've been expanding out, putting more accommodations in those areas. In Portugal, that has been so very popular. We just added, there's an island off the coast of Portugal called Madeira, very popular coastal town, a little bit upscale. So we just added that. Just about 3 weeks ago, we expanded in Greece. We had already expanded by about 30 more hotels over the course of last year in Greece, because it is so popular that we just added these 2 cities. And don't shoot the messenger about pronunciation, but you'll see the names there. It looks like one is Thessaloniki and Halkidiki. I was trying to practice those saying, I know I didn't say it right, but anyway, we have those as well. And most of our hotels in the Europe portfolio do offer a complimentary breakfast. So you would think we should say it's not ski season anymore, but as a matter of fact, ski season is still booming in Utah, in the Sierra Nevadas of California. If anybody wants to get on a plane and go for some quick, excellent skiing, you can do that. But the resorts that you see here out west are all slopeside accommodations, which are also very popular for summer vacations, families that want to go hiking or whitewater rafting or fishing or any of the outdoor activities, cycling. The West is a beautiful place to go to. And as you know, the national parks are extremely popular. When we were all pretty much shut down in early 2021, we really banged out our US portfolio too, because people wanted to get out. So they wanted to just explore in the US. So again, instead of just focusing on the Orlandos of the world or Las Vegas of the world, we started going out to a little bit more secluded, but also popular areas in those states. So anybody who wants to do a national parks destination vacation this summer, we can totally do that for you. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we are the #1 producer. We have been for a gazillion years in a row, producer of travel to Hawaii, because we've been going there for 64 years. We've seen it expand tremendously, but because of our relationships and how long Pleasant Holidays is part of lifestyle in Hawaii, every year we have a select number of hotels that offer Pleasant Holidays exclusive, guaranteed lowest rates at their properties. This year in 2023, we have 2 on Oahu and 1 on Maui and 1 on the island of Hawaii, otherwise known as the Big Island. The Twin Fin is the new name, very popular Aston Waikiki Beach Hotel. So don't be thrown off by that name. They did clarify that is the Aston. But with these guaranteed lowest rates, they also, some of them offer complimentary breakfast for 2. Some offer complimentary cocktails certain hours a day, like a happy hour. And some have very special discounts on spas. So I would think most of the names on this slide are very well known to most of you. If not, if you're new, these are very, very popular hotel and resort brands. Some of them are destination specific, but most of them do have destinations in both tropical locations as well as in Europe. So if you're not familiar with them yet, you will be as you learn more and more about the travel industry. And of course, we're one of the few, I think 1 or 2 of us have the Sandals and Beaches in our portfolio. We are allowed to book them. So if you haven't had a presentation from them, you probably have, but would like you to invite them on to one of your presentations. So Sandals, there's 17 of these resorts located throughout the Caribbean, and Beaches, there are 7 of those. And they keep expanding, whether they're building brand new, renovating other properties that they have acquired. They continue to grow and expand. I was just at the Royal Caribbean 2 weeks ago in the Bahamas, a Royal Bohemian, and absolutely beautiful, beautiful resort. If you've been in the industry and your niche is kind of more the luxury market, if you have a client base that likes these brands, we also have these in addition to the ones I just showed you. The Ritz-Carltons of the world, the Four Seasons, Belmond. We've just added a bunch of the red rose, red carnations in the UK and South Africa. So that brand is also very popular. So coming out of COVID, families, when they were starting to venture out of the country and wanting to do vacations, many of them were looking for properties that offered condo type accommodations, villas, apartments. They did not want to be in, large complexes, buildings, sharing elevators and being around the masses. So we have always had this in our portfolio. So I can tell you that both Pleasant Holidays and Journeys have condo properties, or you'll see them a lot in Hawaii. It'll be a big resort, and in one section, it'll be a typical resort and rooms, building accommodations, and then they'd also have buildings that have condominiums, anywhere from 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. And that's very popular in Hawaii, since there's no all-inclusive resorts in Hawaii. It's not something they do over there, but they have large kitchens, and they have great indoor cooking facilities, and also big outdoor cooking areas, which becomes like kind of a social hour in the evening when everybody's out cooking there, using the grills to cook their dinners. But families really like those accommodations, especially if they're, multi-generational family getting together and everybody has their own condo, but then they're there on the resort to explore and to play. Now, under the Journeys brand, only under the Journeys brand, we go a little bit further, where we can offer private homes, or we can also offer private homes that are located on a resort property, which means you get the best of both worlds. You have your private accommodations, you're not sharing space and elevators with other guests, but you do have access to go to restaurants on the resort, use their pools, their fitness centers, their spas, their golf courses, whatever they seem to have. So you get a private home along with resort activities. So that's a really great way to, especially for multi-generational or families, reunions, or maybe, golfers, 3 or 4 couples want to go on a golf vacation, to have their own villa and then to be out doing their favorite sport of golfing every day. So to move away from land packages, I have 2 slides here, because there's a lot of agents and our advisors I'm finding out don't even know that, like, you sell cruises. I'm like, of course we do. Currently, we have 13 cruise lines we work with. We're going to be adding 2 more before the end of this year. So starting in the United States, we have 3 brands. We have American Queen Voyages. They have 4 paddle wheels. 1 is out being refurbished right now, but 3 are on the, 2 right now are on the Mississippi, and 1 is located out in the Pacific Northwest, and it sails the Columbia and Snake River. They also have a beautiful expedition ship. It's only 2 years out. It's called the Victory Ocean. It's very stylish. It looks like a big blue bullet. It's very high tech. very environmentally friendly. It doesn't have any anchors that touch the bottom surface of a coral reef or up in Glacier Bay. Everything is done via satellite and GPS, but it's only about 100 cabins, so has a more shallow draw, so it can go up the smaller tributaries in Alaska where the big ships can't go. And of course, all the activities you could ever want, the paddleboarding, Zodiac rafts, kayaking. They even have researchers on board because people that wanted to get involved with that, they go out and they take samples and do all kinds of testing on the ship. So very exciting. Another brand in the United States, not to be confused because it also starts with the word American, is American Cruise Lines. It's also U.S. ships, U.S. flagged. This company has a lot more ships. There are about 23 ships in total with them. They have ocean cruising vessels. They have river lakes and also intercoastal. So they sail almost everywhere, like the American Queen voyages down there on the Mississippi with paddle wheels. They're in the Pacific Northwest with paddle wheels. But then if you look at the bottom right corner, that's one of their river cruising ships. I was on one of those in October up on the Snake in Columbia, which goes right between Washington State and Oregon State. The most beautiful scenery you could ever wish to see in our Pacific Northwest. It's just so different from everything on the East Coast. But all the stops and excursions that they do were just fantastic. The food was phenomenal, very high end, but the people on board were just so casual. Like there's no gowns or anything like that. You can sit anywhere you want at any meal of the day. There's a few different options for dining. The excursions that they take you on are just the best. So, and that's in any destination they go to. So if you want people that, and there are people, when I sailed in October, most of the people on that ship that we talked to were European riverboats cruising kind of people, but they weren't ready to go over to Europe. Europe wasn't quite open or they didn't feel comfortable. So they started sailing on these US ships and they absolutely loved how easy it was and how comfortable it was. So a great option for clients. And then the bottom left, that's Pearl Seas. That's another US ship. It sails the Great Lakes up through the Canadian Maritime and into the New England coastline. So that's another way to see beautiful parts of the US without having to leave the country. So in Europe, we have AMA Waterways, we have Scenic. Now, Scenic has both riverboats and ocean cruising fleets, as you see in the picture there. Their sister company, a little bit more moderate pricing, is Emerald. And then Norwegian, wherever Norwegian sails, we carry every itinerary sailing that Norwegian offers, including one to South Africa. Windstar Cruises, we sail them in Asia and the South Pacific, wherever they sail, we have their full itinerary in our portfolio. A few unique ships, Iceland Pro Cruises. Iceland is still very popular, whether you want to go for the Northern Lights or for their whale watching season. It's great because you only have to unpack once you get on the ship and then pack to go home. It does circumvent the island of Iceland, so it goes to all the different ports. So any activities that are on the island, you're able to do while sailing on this ship. Aranui 5, that's a very unique ship. It's in the South Pacific for people who want to sail the islands because like Tahiti and Fiji, very, very popular, but they don't have the number of beds and as many resorts as, Mexico's of the world and the Caribbeans have. And they're very busy. So if you ever find that availability for the resorts in the South Pacific are hard to obtain, try sailing. The Aranui 5, it's half cargo ship and half cruise ship. It sails all the outer islands, and that's actually how they get all the supplies to the outer islands for the civilians and residents of those islands. But while the ship is doing its thing in port, you're out doing all kinds of excursions, cultural activities, snorkeling, a great way to see the islands. Same with Paul Gauguin. You should all be familiar with the Paul Gauguin. They sail throughout the South Pacific, a little bit more high end, but a beautiful way to see it all. And then Captain Cook Cruises, again, smaller ship, more boutique, more intimate, and that ship sails throughout Fiji. The new ships that we're bringing on board in 2023 and early 2024, Atlas Cruise Lines, again, high end, those are expedition ships. They sail all over. Every cabin is butler level, so you can kind of get an idea of how nice those ships are. Celestial Cruise Lines, they sail the Greek islands, more moderately priced, but a great way to see those islands. And then Katarina Line, they're in Croatia. And they're more sailing, more intimate, smaller yacht sailing cruises, and they sail throughout all the islands of Croatia. Again, a very popular destination. So now I'm going to go over some things that we have added recently. Well, not recently, within the last 3 years, once travel started coming back and it was getting very crazy again in a good way. we started adding some features that we find very helpful for you. Now, our whole times every Monday we go over how they are, and usually the res center can be anywhere like 8 to 10 or 12 minutes whole time. Customer service is a little bit longer, and journeys is about the same as our res center. But what we did, because most of the calls that are coming in and people that need assistance, 9 times out of 10, it's because of a schedule change, a delay, or a cancellation by the airlines. And we have to get everybody back on track. So, the transfer companies know, the hotel knows that there's been a delay. So that's mostly what any hold times are all about. So what we did, if you are familiar with our booking site, right as soon as you get on the booking site, there's a box that says for faster service, and then there's an orange button that says start here. And what that does, it brings you to this drop-down box that I'm showing you here. And what we're trying to do is keep you off the phones and keep you working and engaged in what you have to do. So if you click on the first line, it says new quotes, itinerary changes, or cancellations. If you need help with any of those, you just click on that line. It opens up to a form, fill out the information we require, send it to us, and go back to work doing what you're doing, and we'll work on whatever task you have submitted to us to help you with. If you need to make a payment on an existing booking, obviously click on that line. We don't ask you for a credit card number, just put all the information about the booking number, clients' names, and then go back to work, submit it to us, go back to work, and one of our agents will reach out to you so you can make that payment. Update flight information for an existing booking. Now this is when, and I'm sure you've all had bookings along these lines where the clients booked everything through you except the air, because maybe they had points they wanted to use, or maybe they had other arrangements to make. The reason they didn't book their air through you. What you want to do here, once they have their own air booked, have them give you their air information, put it in the form that's on that line with that click, and we will take their flight information and add it to your booking with us. So when they get their final travel documents from Pleasant Holidays or Journeys, their flight information, even though it wasn't booked through you or through us, it'll all be contained in one set of documents, which makes it very clean and neat and less complicated. And then the last line is add cancel for any reason travel protection. So this is, and I'll be getting into more detail, our travel protection plan. Sometimes clients aren't sure if they want to add travel insurance during the time of booking. So if that's the case with you, and then they come back and they say, yeah, we talked about it, we really need to have that plan, you can click on here, fill out the form and add the plan on. Or if they added our insurance during booking and then came back and said they decided not to take it, you can remove it, but it all has to be done within 7 days. Once the 7-day line passes, you can't add or take it off. So they should make their mind up pretty quickly when it comes to travel protection. So on our booking site, if you have not booked with us before, we think it's a very easy, friendly, user-friendly site to use. You can add service fee to any of the booking that you make. There's already well over 40,000 registered advisors using our platform now. It's quick and simple. You can expand out flight options and how to filter out flights. You can do the same thing with hotel searches. You can even, let's say you're sending someone into Jamaica and they want to see where their hotel is and what else is around their hotel. You can expand that Google map and see what fun restaurants, local things are near there. So you can really take a look at a lot of things on the destination your clients want to go to. Self-service tools, these are available 24/7, every day of the year. You can always see the commission display, and I'll show you what that looks like. It tracks all your agency bookings. Real-time hotel rates and availability, that's considered direct bookings. If you're not familiar with that technology, all the tour operators have it. It's not just us. Probably about 4 years ago, within the travel industry, they created direct bookings, which means there's a huge brain in the middle of the travel industry world. And tour operators have access to that brain, and hotel suppliers have access to that brain, and travel agents do. So what it means is that brain holds all current real-time rates, real-time inventory, availability at hotels. So when you're booking on Pleasant Holidays site, and maybe your clients aren't traveling till late 2024, maybe a year to year and a half out from where we are right now, with this direct connectivity, real-time rates, you can now book things well out in advance from before, where you basically only had within a year's time to be able to book out. So it makes it very nice to be able to book out, and it's current availability. anything that hotel or resort, it's basically their live inventory that you have access to. Now there are some hotels, especially small boutique hotels, many that are in Europe or maybe some smaller Caribbean islands. They just don't have the technology yet, but we're trying to build another like mini brain to get them to connect to the big brain. But we definitely have this service, and it makes it very easy for you to book further out. Definitely, I've been talking about all the expansions we've been doing with hotel and destinations. We have a huge cruise portfolio, and we'll be talking about our travel agent resource center shortly. So this is what if you first log into our booking site, if you're brand new and not with us, it's pleasantagent.com. But this is what I wanted to show you. When you first get on the site, you'll be able to check, if you see in the top right corner, you'll see agent resource button, which I'll show you more detail as well. But once you click that button, you'll see all these 5 brown boxes drop in on the left-hand side. The first box is going to be all about you and the agency, marketing resources, as you go down, but I'm going to go into more detail about that right here. So my top right arrow is pointing to the agent resources button. That first box is all about you, your profile, any bookings that you make, the agency details, and trip points, which is our reward points for you. That's where they'll be stored. That's your little account right there. The second box, that's where you'll find any current flyer, any special promotion that's going on is kept in there. It's separated by destination. So if you want to do your own marketing, feel free to pull those flyers and push a certain destination if you like, or a certain promotion that's out there. Social media toolkit, I'll talk about that soon, and also where our digital brochures are. The third box is either going to have agent incentives that we have going on right now, or agent incentives that some of our suppliers, if you book a certain room category or book within a certain window, you'll have an incentive to book with that property or that resort. And also our group information is in that third box. Stay connected, right on that fourth box down, that's where you'll see our business development team, who we are and where we're located. And then that last box, that one we're going to focus on pretty deep right here. This is where you're going to find our Pleasant Pro Academy. That's where our trainings and courses are located. Best price guarantee, that's in relation to price matching. We'll talk about commission protection as we go through the presentation. But thinking about training right now, if in that bottom box, if you click on that Pleasant Pro Academy, it's the first bullet point, it's going to take you to a site that looks like this. You'll see that I've outlined in red the resource center. And I did this because I think in one of my earlier communications with Lakeisha, she had mentioned about our booking site and how to book on our site. So this is for you, for anybody that's brand new, this is beautiful for you. If you click on Resource Center, you're going to come to this page, and where you see track training is under the Pleasant Holidays brand, and Elite is the Journeys brand. The websites flow the same way as far as booking, but they have a different look and feel to them. So under track training, if I clicked on more, if I was on the live site, you're going to come right to here. And the very first course that you'll see is pleasantagent.com. This is a complete walkthrough. It's a demonstration of Pleasant Agent and our online booking agent. Our trainer has put this together, and he had been a res agent for many, many years. He was a Journeys destination specialist. So he is a great presenter. If you've been on any of our webinars, he has this really deep voice. He's a perfect radio voice, but he does an excellent presentation for you. So I know I'm a visual learner. So if that's how you are too, and you just really want to see how to make a booking from the very beginning all the way through the end with any component you can need, whether it's air, lodging, transfers, rentals, travel insurance, activities, tours, excursions, your service fee. He goes through all of that, and it's a great training. So that's where all of you who are new or maybe have experience, are very knowledgeable travel advisors, but have not booked with Pleasant Holidays or Journeys before. This would be a really great site for you to start with. And we try to keep these down to about some of these guided webinars we keep to about 15, 17 minutes, and some of the other trainings we try to keep to about 35 minutes. So also on that Pleasant Pro Academy, when you click on that, I know the Resource Center, we just did that one, but if you see courses, that's the first tab we offer. Where'd it go? We have, I skipped one. Anyway, let me go where that is. It'll come back. I'm going to tell you we have 3 courses. So the first course is you have to go in order, 1, 2, 3. First course is an outline, again, of the 4 brands: Pleasant Holidays, Journeys, Air by Pleasant, and Pleasant Activities. We keep it was about 45, 50 minutes. We scaled it down. It's only about 35 minutes. So if you want more detail about what I'm kind of doing an overview of tonight, you take that course first. The second course has destination training on the destinations that we go to. And then the third course that we just opened, it's kind of copied by a tagline I see, is all about journeys. And you can learn a lot more what the Journeys brand is all about and the destination specialists and what they have to offer you. So this is a great starting point for some of you newbies out there too, but you do have to go in order. And as you complete each course, you will be awarded trip points. Those are reward points, which I'll explain later, but those are points that you can use to book your own vacation travel for yourself. So this is another tool we added. It's been out probably 2.5 years now. It's called an online recommendation tool. Prior to us having a tool, let's say somebody was going to the Caribbean, they're going to Jamaica, never been there before, and they're not a big traveler, and they've heard Sandals, and maybe they've heard Playa, and all these different names, but they don't know the difference between one resort and another. Well, under this recommendation tool, you can put up to 6 quotes into an email that you can send to your client. So obviously, if you're going to compare 6 hotels, you want to make sure you're choosing similar or same room category per each hotel. But that way, when you send the email to your client, they can take a look at all the hotels. They can see how many pools, restaurants, spas, do they have a kids program if they're taking kids with them, how many swim up bars, what they have to offer. And they can look at all the pictures and see the resort. However, it is a dead end. They can't go anywhere. They can't go and book something without you. And also, when they get that email, it has nothing related to Pleasant Holidays. It's strictly an email from you at your agency and your contact information. So you can compare up to 6 rooms, send 6 quotes to your clients in an email, or there's mega hotels, resorts out there. Obviously, Sandals, we all know they have like 50 million room categories. Hilton Hawaiian Village on Oahu, they have so many different room categories, so many buildings. You can actually just take one resort and you can send a quote with 3, 4, 5, or 6 different room categories. I always recommend don't send the entry level, because using this recommendation tool, it's a great way to upsell, because often your clients will see if you send them pricing on 3 or 4 different room categories, they're going to think like, oh my gosh, for $25 more a night, I can have a butler suite, or I can have this level room. Sometimes it's not a big difference from one category to up it a little bit. So definitely use it as an upselling tool. And you can also combine, you can compare maybe 6 hotels and then maybe 3 hotel rooms. So you can mix it up and match it up as how many you want, up to 6. So it's a great way to send that out, send them the email, just say, tell me what you think about this. Is there anything you want to come in and talk about, and kind of use it as your hook to get them in, or at least to call you and start reviewing a little until they can scale down to the resort that best fits them. Obviously, if they're couples going on vacation, you're not going to send them to a beaches. You're not going to send them to a Dreams or a family resort. You really want to pick an all-inclusive adults only, which you can filter out on our website. So commission levels. So this is something, so the screen you're looking at, let's say, for instance, I just did a search for somebody going to Hawaii, going to Oahu, and it'll bring up all the hotels, resorts that have availability on the dates they're going. If you look to where I have that green arrow, it's pointed to a letter C. You'll see that letter C on any hotel you bring up, any room category. Same with airfare, with Air by Pleasant. It's not going to tell you exactly what your commission is, because the commission structure with Pleasant Holidays is based on the consortia or the host agency you roll up to. It's all tiered commission levels, and the tiers are based on your productivity with us. So it's very different. But what it will show you, if you just hover your mouse over the C, it'll say full commission. If it says full commission, that means you are going to make the commission on that property that fits in with the consortia and the contract we have with your consortia or host agency. Now, at times you might see, you hover it over and it might say 15%, 12%, or 10%. That means that property has put a cap on the commission level. We can't change that. You might be at 16 or 17% with us, but if a hotel caps it at 12%, it's 12%. We can't override that. Usually there's a special promotion on. Sometimes it's a special room category. They might have a lot of bed space open in that room category and they really want to push the inventory. So they'll put a really discounted low price out there on that room category. And it's so low that the same commission can't be offered. So they cap that commission. I will tell you, I rarely see many commission caps with tropical destinations, Mexico, Caribbean, etc. Where I really advise you to check commission levels is if you're booking Europe, especially if it's peak season, peak family vacation time in the summer, holiday periods, or if there's some special holiday in Europe that they're celebrating. The European hotels seem more apt to cap commission down to 15 or 12% than any other destination I see. So always check your commission level, just hover it over. Your client doesn't, if your client's sitting next to you, they don't have to see you do that. Just do it really nonchalantly, because obviously you don't want to offer a hotel that's going to cap your commission when there's many other hotels in that destination that are not capping it. So it's a great tool for you to have, so you're never surprised. Another functionality we added a couple of years ago was multiple payments, multiple credit card payments. Especially if you have like 4 couples traveling together, a group of girlfriends going somewhere and it's one booking. Now you can do it where they can just split the total cost equally, or they can each pay different amounts. Maybe they have different room categories and some are more expensive than others. You can put individual payments, as many payments as it needs. Just make sure you don't overpay for the booking when using multiple credit cards. So this page here, I know I'd shown you travel agent resources. That tab on our homepage brought in those 5 drop-down boxes on the left that had all the resources for a travel agent. This is a traveler support section. So this section was very popular as we were coming out of COVID, actually learning about COVID and trying to work our way through it. But we put these different sections in here. Like the first one is traveler guidelines by destination. When things were really crazy and every destination had different rules and criteria and restrictions, you could just click on there, click on the destination. Let's say it was Caribbean, and then you click on the island of Aruba. You would see what the protocols were to enter the island of Aruba. And those protocols were put on there by the destination, either by their tourism board or by their government. And they kept that updated. We didn't collect all the information. We just made the site available and they put the links in there. Now, there are still a few destinations that require like a health form to be done. So if you are sending clients to an island that you're not absolutely sure if there is anything left their clients have to do pre-departure to get to that island, just click on this site, go to the destination and see what the tourism or government has to say there. Health and safety protocols, that was, airlines and cruise lines were putting information, what they were doing to keep everybody safe. So most of this is obsolete, except the one guidelines by destination. I would keep my eye on that one for select destinations. Okay, now this is why I know Lakeisha can't talk, she has laryngitis, but I sent Lakeisha and Heidi a note. I wasn't sure if the client or those who were joining us tonight were in my territory or from many different areas around the United States. And I've learned that you're from all over. So this site is really important. So in order for me to know which of you are located in my territory so I can interact with you more and assist you more, I need to know that you live in my territory. So if you remember, we went to, if you look into the slide here, we click on that, the agent resources, and you get those drop down boxes. And that first box I said is all about you and your profile. If you're new to booking with us or you're already registered, but you don't know how you signed up with us, please click on my profile. And as you move down through that grid there you'll get to the section 4. It asks if you're an independent contractor or home-based travel agent. If you're one of those, you want to click yes and put in your home address, because if you're seeing maybe a host agency or a consortium, if you're seeing an address for headquarters for whoever you roll up to, then our team doesn't know that you exist in our territory. That means we can't invite you to anything we don't know you're there. And plus, I send out a lot of helpful hints kind of emails or something latest, like be ready for something or maybe some great offer. I try to keep you guys as pain-free as possible with everything going on in the travel world. So if I don't know you're there, I really can't help you. And I'd like to make sure I keep your stress levels as low as possible. So if you already registered for us, please check this maybe tomorrow when you're online, check your profile, make sure your street address is on there and your zip code, so I know if you're mine. If not, put in where you live, and whatever BDM on our team has your zip code, then he or she will know that you exist in their territory, and that way they can assist you more or invite them to things that they host in your local area. This doesn't affect your commission. We know that, but just by your IATA clear true number and other information, that you do roll up to someone else, but this is just so we can identify you and we can support you better. Okay, well, actually, agents who are working and surviving through COVID, those of you who probably hated or were scared to death of social media probably became very adept at it, because it was the only way to get your business out there. So we created a social media toolkit, and there's two specific tools in that toolkit. One is we have an image gallery. It's broken out by destination, and there's just photos from all the destinations we have in our portfolio, and they are royalty free. You don't have to pay for them, because it's basically when all of us and even our like journey specialists and our res agents go on educational trips or on FAMs, they take a lot of pictures. So we've all uploaded good quality pictures onto that site, and you're able to use them however you want in any social media you want. The other thing we have in there is our the social media toolkit. We have professionally graphically produced images, and that they all have different themes to them. One might be like time to get away or where to next. You'll see some here. One's focusing on Tahiti, one's focusing on Mexico. We have some that, romance getaways, cruises, there's many different types of messaging in there, but these are already formatted for Facebook, for Instagram, and for Twitter. So really all you have to do is click and copy it and paste it into your own social media site. We even offer additional copy points that you can put with it, but it's really ready to go. Just click and put it in your own social media and send it out to your to all your followers, and just promote yourself. And we've done all the work for you, so we try to make it very, very easy for you. So this is something that Journeys offers, and it's a little differentiation from what Pleasant Holidays offer. So on their homepage, when you log into journeys.com, on their toolbar, you will see one of the tabs is called itineraries, because it happens often that even the most experienced agents, once in a while, somebody's going to come in and ask for something that in your mind you're saying, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I've never been there. I don't know anything about that destination. Well, what our specialist team has done, if they have made more than 100 itineraries throughout the different destinations we go to, and they could be themed. Let's say your clients are going on an adventure type vacation. Maybe they're going on a culinary foodie experience. Maybe they want the nature and wildlife. So we have them itineraries themed that way, or you can just put this in the search end and put Australia, and you'll see probably 4 or 5 different itineraries come up for the destination of Australia, and they're day 1, day 2, how you're going to move through itinerary. We don't put hotels or resorts in there, because that has to come, we have to match our hotel portfolio with what your clients are looking for. But it really gives you a good idea of itineraries that we have to offer, that you can actually just give them to your clients. Maybe you've never been to Australia, and say, well, here's some itineraries I can share with you. Look them over, tell me what you think. And then if they say, well, I like the first 3 days on this itinerary, but I also like a few of the things you're doing on this itinerary, then our destination specialists will take what your client wants and create a whole new personalized itinerary based on what your clients want to do. So the itinerary section is really a really great resource, especially if you're new to the business and you have never put that many itineraries together. We are prepared for you. They're not set in stone. They can be tweaked as much as you want or your client wants, but it's a great starting place. So a few other topics we're going to cover here: groups, cancel for any reason, travel insurance, and advisor rewards. So I know many of you probably do groups, whether it's, a bunch of friends going to a destination wedding, or girlfriend getaways, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, golf groups, even incentive groups. We offer 2 group options. One is your traditional group. It's a contracted group, requires 10 rooms or more. It does require a contract. There has to be a group leader that does have to assume a lot of responsibilities in coordinating this group. Or we also have boutique groups. That could be as few as 5 rooms. There's no contract. It's very flexible. We put you in touch with one of our boutique agents. It's basically we're doing a bunch of FIT bookings and our boutique agent puts them together for you. They'll take all the payments from your clients. They'll arrange for transfers. Because a lot of times some of the friends come in early, some stay later, some may want butler suite, some may want entry level. So no matter what they want, it's very flexible. And then our group coordinator works with the resort if they can get you any commission or concessions, because it is, some do consider it a group, they'll do that for you and they'll try to keep the group close together. But so we have these 2 options and it's very easy to reach out to our group department. You'll see where I have the yellow arrow up top on our homepage for pleasantagent.com. Just click on group travel. You'll see the main phone number. If you don't know where to start, you have too many questions, just call our groups and say, this is what I'm working with. What do you recommend? Should I go boutique or traditional contract? They'll help you out there. And then depending on which option you go with, each type of group has its own team of agents to work with you. So travel protection is and should always be a very top of mind topic when you're talking to your clients. No one should go on vacation without travel insurance of some sort, because their vacation, their booking, it's a huge investment in many cases. I don't care if it's $2,000 or $30,000 or more. It's an investment and they want to protect their investment. So Pleasant Holidays has had this cancel for any reason travel protection plan. It's called a CFAR, very popular out there. But ours is a true cancel for any reason. We had it before anyone heard the word COVID. We didn't have restrictions. We didn't have anything that said does not cover pandemic. Anyone that had our protection plan when COVID hit were thoroughly protected. It was a seamless procedure to get them straightened out. So our 2 options are cancel for any reason, cashback. If your client has this plan, they can cancel for any reason up until the time of departure. No questions asked. They get all their funds back minus the cost of the protection plan. It goes back to the original form of payment. Even if they have non-refundable air and non-refundable hotel or penalties on the booking, they get their full investment back minus the cost of the plan. The future travel credit option, same thing. Cancel up until the time of departure, no questions asked. Once the booking is canceled, what they will get back, if there are refundable components on their booking, those components, that funding does go back to the original form of payment, but anything that's non-refundable air, non-refundable hotel or penalties, your clients will get that back in an FTC, obviously minus the cost of the plan. So it is a more economical way to go. And that's good for somebody that they know they're going to travel again. Cashback should be for that clients. Maybe it's the grandparents who are going to their granddaughter's wedding, it got canceled or something happened. They don't know if they're ever going to travel again. So that type of client should always get the cash back because they will benefit from an FTC. With both plans, either one, a benefit of having this plan with us, your commission is protected. If your plan has the cash back on it, you get 100% of your commission. If you have the FTC plan on it, you receive the greater of either $200 or 10% of the booking. So either which way, you will still have protection, but it's only if you have our plan. If you book with us, but you get another insurance plan on there and they cancel, we do not protect that commission because it's not our program. And also, when you have one of these plans, it guarantees trip price, it's protected. If your client does have to cancel and they have one of our plans, it's very easy to submit for your commission protection. You'll see I have the drop-down boxes again on the left-hand side of the screen. I have the arrow pointing to commission protection. This is a screen that comes up. You'll see the criteria. The booking must be paid in full in order to get your commission protection, and it has to be the whole booking. You can't, let's say there's 5 people on it and 2 people back out. That's not a full cancellation. So it's a full cancellation, paid in full. As soon as your clients cancel, click on the blue link right in the middle. I have the yellow arrow. It says online form. When you click on that form, you just fill out all the information and you submit it, and you'll get this automatic confirmation. I always recommend that you print out, do a screenshot of this and print this out, put the date on it, and keep it with the documentation for that booking. So remember what date you submitted it on, and then you will be paid out your commission protection. Now, the key thing that's on I'll go back one page. You do have to do this within 10 days of cancellation. So if your clients have this plan and they cancel and you want to submit your request, you have to do it quickly. Do it as soon as you cancel it, or else you'll forget. But it has to be done within 10 days, and then you'll be paid out. So this is our trip rewards program. I said you earn points with bookings. You earn 1 point for every $10 in commissionable sales, and all those add up. The points are not put into your bucket until the booking travels. But then once you've been acquiring trip points, you can then use them for your own travel. For the first level, there's 2 tiers. This program, the first level, you can use those points for accommodations. They're valid for 2 years. So if there's anybody on the call, if you had bookings that traveled in 2022, those points will expire at the end of this year, because they were valid in 2022. They're valid in 2023. They do expire on December 31st at midnight. So make sure you apply them to a booking. It can be in 2024 or how far out you can book, but they do have to be applied to something, or else they just vaporize. So make sure you use them in the time permitted. If you work your way up to the Premier program, which is 25,000 points or 250,000 in sales with us, then you can start using them for air and or lodging. So this is Air by Pleasant. Remember, I said this is one of our platforms. If all your client needs is international air, you would go to this site, because this is an air consolidator brand. We have over 80 international airlines under here, even to destinations we don't have in our portfolio for lodging. You get commission override on published airfares between 2 and 15%. You have a 24-hour hold option on these online bookings. We offer various different levels of seat categories. Most of these airlines do award points for their loyalty members. You can add your own agency service fees on. You can even do air that has multiple stops in one booking. You can get insurance on this Air by Pleasant. It's 10% of the ticket cost, and you earn 10% commission on any air that's booked on Air by Pleasant. And then this is our other platform I was talking about, our activities, tours. So when you're doing a booking, let's say you have clients going to Hawaii and you got their air, you got their hotel, car rental, whatever they need. The booking site then goes to activities, and we put in the most popular activities we will include on the booking site. But for a destination like Hawaii, we have over 100 activities, or 900 activities. We can't put all those on a booking site, so we keep them under Pleasant Activities, as well as for other destinations. We put a few of them on the booking site, the most popular ones, but we also have this site to go to that has a lot more activities to offer. Sometimes clients don't know what they want to do when they make their original booking with you, and then they'll come back maybe a month later and say, okay, now we know what we want to do when we go to Hawaii or we go to Jamaica. You can't get back into your booking because that's done. So you would go to Pleasant Activities and book those activities separately. Or even if you did a booking with another tour operator and they didn't have the activities you want, you can just go to this site. It's a standalone site just for activities, and you can just book here. But mainly, as much as you can, you want to bundle as much as you can into your main booking, because that's how you make more commission. So we have a number of support teams. Remember, I told you we did have won awards twice in a year for our support. So if our last minute team, that's for bookings if they're traveling within the next 3 days, they had an issue in travel, or when they get to destination. These are the teams, whether it's Pleasant or Journeys, the last minute teams. You see, if you have a camera or phone with you, take a picture of this if you'd like. But the last minute teams' email addresses, as well as the phone number. Now, if you have a booking that's not urgent within 3 days, but it's traveling within 7 days, that would be our customer service desk. So you'll see their email address and phone numbers. And then customer relations, that's for post-travel. And what I really try to emphasize when I do these trainings is make sure your clients know that when they get to destination, if they get to their resort and the room category is not right, it's dirty, or there's construction outside their window, or there's just something not right, they need to reach out to you, or they need to reach out to us, or to both of us, because we can help. We have leverage. If they reach to us when they're still in destination, we go to the resort and we work with the resort to resolve the issue, whatever the challenge is. But if they wait until they get home, we have hardly any leverage because they've paid for the booking, they've traveled, and it's very difficult to get any compensation once they come home. So please make sure they know to reach out to us. And I'll be sharing with you here that, right, especially this page right here, when you get our final travel documents for your clients, our emergency phone numbers are on those documents. So I know it seems very elementary school teacher like, but highlight and circle those phone numbers on their travel docs to remind them they do have access for assistance if something is going wrong on their trip or at the resort. And the other thing you'll see when you get those travel documents from us, in the body of the email, you'll see the paragraph that, see the big bold pleasant holidays, you'll see a link in blue, it's underlined in blue. Click on that, and I always advise travel advisors, print out the sheet that you're going to see in a minute and put it with the final travel documents, because this is what it looks like. This is a sample. If your clients are going to, when you open that link, it's going to have all our destinations. So let's say they're going to the Caribbean, click on Caribbean, and this is a really nice PDF. You don't have to print out in color, but it has all key phone numbers. It has our emergency phone numbers on the top of that first column, but then it goes island by island in the destination in the Caribbean, has phone numbers for the transfer companies, for the excursion companies. It gives them tips of how to prepare to travel, tips about while they're in destination, and tips on how to prepare to come home from traveling. It's a phenomenal information piece. And we have one, there'll be one for Mexico and one for Europe, but you print out the one that matches the destination your clients are going to and put it with those travel documents. And again, circle those emergency numbers and emphasize we can't assist them if we don't know what's going on. And we have teams in place to help them. So this is price matching. We price match this about against everybody. If you've done a quote with another tour operator, so we say it's in the same lane, similar type business as Pleasant Holidays, it's almost a guaranteed over the phone confirmation. Yes, we will match it. We also match if you see a better price on the hotel or resort's website compared to the quote you did with us. All you need to do is send an email. I can't see it on my page. I'm hoping you can see it. There should be an email address that says res price match at pleasant.net on the top of your screen in red. That's our price match team. You need to send them our quote and then a screenshot of the quote from the direct hotel. It has to be have date time stamp on it. Send it to that team and you should hear back within 30 minutes or less that yes, we can price match it, or we can price match it, but it was such a tight margin that we may only be able to off 10%, but they'll tell you and it's up to you if you want to go with it or not. We also price match again against OTAs like these Expedias of the world, and we price match against Costco. So we just need to see their booking, our booking. Obviously, they have to be exactly the same room category resort. Try not to put air in there unless you absolutely have to, because it's a lot easier to see just the resort pricing, etc. You can have transfers in there too, because that's usually easy to price match. So you use the price match team. They work on this all day long, and definitely we want these bookings. So we do whatever we can to obtain them and take them over for you. And this is final. A big thank you to all of you for joining us, but also take a picture of this if you'd like. So if you're new to us and or learning about us, first, you'll see the booking site for Pleasant Holidays. That is pleasantagent.com, or you can call that number. That's for reservations. And then sales support. That's our inside sales team. You can send them questions about things that you may not be sure of, maybe commission levels. You can give them a call and they can assist you. And then you always have me. In my territory, I work it very hard and try to be accessible almost all the time. I do have to sleep once in a while, but I'm usually on the road, usually Tuesday through Thursday, in office on Monday, and Fridays, I never know. So feel free to reach out, and I would love to at least make sure I know who you are, you're in my territory, so I can keep you updated with the latest and greatest information, problem solving tips, and how to save yourself from getting into any frustrating situations. But than that, if you want, I think I have a facilitator out there that's going to review if there's any questions for me.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for
You're
that
welcome.
amazing information. You weren't kidding about a snippet, because I know Pleasant has so much to offer.
Yeah, that's
So let's
go ahead.
let's go
I know that
ahead
was
and
just a
get,
snapshot.
yes, because I'm on the site and I'm like in my one little area, but I know there's so much going on. So the first question that I did see, and guys, if you have any questions for Karen, go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you have to get off the call, we'll understand. These are being recorded and they'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel within 72 hours. So just check back on the YouTube channel at that time. First question I saw was, who is the BDM for West Coast? I believe it was.
Okay, we have two. So if you remember when you click on that agent resources tab in the top right corner and you get those 5 drop-down boxes on the left-hand side. I think it's the 4th box down. Click on the sales team and you'll see all the BDMs and what destination, what areas they cover in the country. But we have Lydia. I think Lydia is in San Diego area. I think she's Southern California, and Natalia is in the Las Vegas area, and Adrian's in Las Vegas, or not Las Vegas, I'm sorry, Los Angeles area. Yeah, LA is so big and high volume travel agents. We have 2 BDMs there, Natalia and Adrian.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. It says, what's the turnaround time on quotes?
On quotes? Very quickly. So let me explain one thing first. I'm not that familiar with your organization on the whole, but mostly the commission levels are structured so that you earn 1% more when you book online than if you call in to make a reservation. But if you're just getting your feet wet with us, please, yes, feel free to call in to make a booking. But our res agents turn it around very quickly.
That's great information to know, guys. Call in if you need help.
Yep.
Have another question. Are there villas or vacation homes in the US on the Gulf Coast?
On the Gulf Coast, as in like Louisiana, New Orleans area? Do you know specifically? So what you can do on pleasantagent.com, on the booking site, on the homepage, on the toolbar, you'll see vacation rentals tab. Click on that tab and then choose the destination. So that would be USA. And then it breaks it down by state. And in some cases like Florida, it'll be, Miami, Orlando, some of the popular areas, but just go into the vacation rentals tab on Pleasant Holidays toolbar homepage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a question that says, do you need a different account for journeys?
No, so always start out with your registration on pleasantagent.com. And then once you're on that site, I wish I'd can't show you here. So I'm going to send a screenshot. Should I send it to Lakeisha? I'm going to send you a screenshot giving you directions how to do that, because if you go onto our pleasantagent.com booking site and scroll all the way down to the very, very bottom, you'll see the 3 partner sites together. You'll see Pleasant Activities, Air by Pleasant, and Journeys. You have to register on each one separately because they're different platforms. For Air by Pleasant, click on Air by Pleasant, fill out that registration form as a new user, send it in within 24 hours. We have to vet you. We have to check you out, your IATA number, your registration. You'll get an email within 24 hours saying you're good to go to book on Air by Pleasant. Same thing for Pleasant Activities, fill out that form, registration as a new user, send it in. You'll hear back as soon as you're approved to sell and book on Pleasant Activities. for Journeys, just send an email. Once you have to be registered on pleasantagent.com first. Just send an email to sales, SALES, at journeys.com. Provide your add-in number and ask them to please register you on Journeys, and then they'll let you know when you're good to go.
Yeah, so sending it to Lakeisha will be great, and we can get
Okay.
that out to the
Let me
agent.
write a note on that.
Thank you.
How to register on our additional platform. Got it.
I have some more questions. I'm just reading them in order, guys. So if you want to drop them in the chat. Who do you price match with again?
So any other tour operator. So obviously Apple ALG, which contains FunJet, Travel Impressions, etc. GoGo, Classic, any of the other tour operators that are out there. We directly compete with them and always try to price match them like 99% of the time. And then OTAs, that's your Expedias, online travel agents. Well, it used to be like Travelocity, Priceline.com, all of those. Those are OTAs, online travel agencies. And then directly against a resort or a hotel, whatever, if you do a quote on their website and compare it to a quote you did with us, has to have that date stamp on the bottom. We'll review that. We'll look it up. We check their sites. We're always shopping the other sites, our competitors anyway, so we have a good idea what's going on out there. And then Costco. Costco sometimes can price match right away, and sometimes we have to negotiate a little bit on that one.
Okay, thank you. And then another question is, what is your area?
My area, so I'm located in Eastern Pennsylvania, just about an hour and a half north of Philadelphia. So I cover as far west as the middle of the state, which is where Penn State is, State College. And then I cover all of Delaware, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia.
Awesome. So I see tons of thank yous. Appreciate it. Lots of good information. Great. In the chat. Someone said, "Did you say you can price match against Costco?"
Yeah, we do.
Like, yeah. Okay.
And, one thing I just want to say, we really we know some of our. I know it's a big problem in our areas. Some tour operators or BDMs, they only work with the top, the top producers from their territory. They really. It's hard for the big, newer agents, not well-established agencies as they're growing. It's hard to get answers from them, get through to them. We answer questions and emails. We don't care if you've never booked the roast before, if you're a high producer for us, if you're a medium producer for us. We respond to everyone because you're all very, very valuable to us. And you're learning. I mean, when I came to Pleasant Holiday, I used to work in the theme park industry, and I knew everything about the theme parks, but I didn't know anything about booking travel. But I had agents helping me a lot. So it's a growing curve and it's a learning curve, and we all have to do the same. So please, no question is a dumb question. No question is a bad question. Send them to us, send them to the BDM in your area, because you're our future, and you have to learn, and we're here to help you learn. And we want you to stay in the job, stay in travel. So if you're frustrated and stressed all the time, it's very hard to stay excited about your job. So we try to remove some of that stress and let you know that there is a team here to support you if you need it.
Absolutely. And we truly appreciate that. I do have another question. Just a reminder, guys, this is recorded and it will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. So if you want to see the slides again or anything that Karen has said, if you join late, you'll be able to view it there. The next question is, what's the difference in booking cruises throughout your site versus directly with the cruise line?
Less headache, first of all, because it's always best to bundle everything together. Their airfare, their cruise, pre and post hotel stays. They want to extend their vacation area, because if there's a hiccup just getting out of the airport from home to get to wherever the cruise port is, if you're doing things separately, it's very hard to get everything back in line again, because that means you have to call how many vendors to get everything lined up again. And also, I don't know if there's anybody on the call that has booked air through the cruise line. You really have no say on where you sit who you sit with, what category you're in, and then you just don't know anything until about 30 days out from travel. And then if something changes with that air, it's a real problem trying to get realigned with everything else that's booked in that bundle. So we just said, bundle it up. When you bundle it with us, and plus the commission level through us for the cruise line is probably going to be higher than it is if you book directly with it, just with the contract that we have with them. So it's best to have it all bundled together. If there's a hiccup anywhere, it's one res agent putting it all back together for you. And you have your choice of airlines and your choice of flights. And, if a family's traveling, you're not all split up. And sometimes they don't even get you on the same flights together. So it's really good to have the flights and your airfare under your control, not the cruise line's control. Because you're getting whatever seats they have left over.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we love bundles.
Yes.
That makes our lives a lot easier.
Yeah.
I think I have one more question in here if you have time, Karen. There's a lot more thank yous. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it says, how much is cruise commission on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line?
We don't have Royal Caribbean. Our main ocean cruise line is NCL. And then the commissions for any of our cruise lines is also related to your commission level based on who your host or consortia is.
All right, Karen, that was my last question. If you guys are already booking using Pleasant Holidays, do so. I have it saved as a bookmark. I know you guys will too. Again, the presentation is recorded and it will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. Again, we thank you so much, Karen, for your time and sharing this information with all of our agents. On behalf of our 1-star platinum, Ms. Mina Jackson Mitchell, this webinar is officially closed. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.